The next story here, Rubio expedites shipment of $4 billion in military aid for Israel. So on Saturday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that he had expedited the shipment of $4 billion in military aid for Israel, a strong show of support for Israel as it is threatening to restart its genocidal war on Gaza. Rubio said in a statement, quote, "I have signed a declaration to use emergency authorities to expedite the delivery of approximately $4 billion in military assistance to Israel," end quote. He claimed that President Biden imposed a partial arms embargo on Israel, although Biden provided more military aid to Israel in a single year than any U.S. president in history. This idea that he imposed any kind of arms embargo is just complete partisan nonsense. But anyway, Rubio's statement said, quote, "The decision to reverse the Biden administration's partial arms embargo, which wrongly withheld a number of weapons and ammunition from Israel, is yet another sign that Israel is no greater ally in the White House than President Trump," end quote. Rubio said that since President Trump came into office on January 20th, his administration has approved $12 billion in arms deals for Israel in just over a month. Just despicable stuff here. Rubio said, quote, "The Trump administration will continue to use all available tools to fulfill America's long-standing commitment to Israel's security, including means to counter security threats," end quote. So the statement came a day after the State Department approved 3 separate arms deals for Israel worth nearly $3 billion. So $3 billion on Friday, and then in arms, they call them arms sales, but they'll almost certainly be funded by U.S. military aid. So $3 billion of that is approved on Friday. And then Saturday, Rubio says he's expediting the shipment of $4 billion in weapons. It's not exactly clear if there's crossover here between the $3 billion approved on Friday and what Rubio says he's expediting. I think we might get a clearer picture in the coming days of exactly what, but at the same time, they're just not being transparent at all. Rubio just says, $4 billion in military assistance to Israel, and doesn't detail what that is. And in both of these cases, they invoked so-called emergency powers here to ship these weapons, to bypass Congress. Again, just really makes me sick, this stuff. And the biggest sale out of this $3 billion in arms sales, again, they call it a sale, but again, this is going to be funded by U.S. military aid. The biggest sale includes 35,500 2,000-pound bombs. These are these huge bombs that Israel has dropped on residential buildings. They've dropped, figured out that if they drop them on the tunnels, it creates a deadly gas that they then weaponize that gas to kill people, and in some cases have killed Israeli hostages. This is what they're giving them. And the second arms deal is for 5,000 1,000-pound bombs. And another deal is for bulldozers, the Caterpillar armored bulldozers that are used to demolish Palestinian homes in the West Bank and in Gaza. I mean, they were used to demolish entire cities, entire neighborhoods in Gaza. So when approving, again, these 3 deals on Friday, the State Department claimed that it was an emergency and bypassed Congress. The Pentagon said, quote, "The Secretary of State has determined and provided detailed justification that an emergency exists that requires the immediate sale to the government of Israel of the above defense articles and defense services in the national security interests of the United States, thereby waiving the congressional review requirements under Section 36B of the Arms Export Control Act," end quote. So you see all this talk this weekend from the thing that happened with Zelensky, all this stuff about, we shouldn't be funding this foreign conflict and continuing it. And then when it comes to Israel and Gaza and this genocide and slaughter and ethnic cleansing, just all goes out the window. Just give Israel whatever they want, all on the U.S. taxpayer dime. And no matter how brutal things are, always find an excuse for it, find an excuse for starving people, for blowing up women and children. It's just sickening, like I said.